Alright, today we're going to talk about the difference between raising boys and girls.
Oh, yes. And in particular, a very smart firstborn daughter
Yes.
over a very athletic secondborn
Son.
son. Yes. Sorry, my
Yeah,
bad.
and the challenges that come with that, like the female dominating her brother and the son just being dumb. And of course, I'm referring to my own.
I was going to say, I wouldn't call him dumb.
So I think he's academically challenged at the moment, and he's athletically superior to a lot of kids his age. So I get it. If you're gonna be dumb, you better be tough. But it's very challenging to raise an intelligent daughter, especially one that bests me most days.
I think the funniest things is the one-liners that she comes up with, and then she wants explanation on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like she doesn't. She's being so inquisitive.
And she refuses to accept a blanket bullshit answer.
Yeah,
She wants the truth.
Like she literally is striving to find more knowledge, and she's 8 years old.
And she's passing me in light years. Why do none of my friends have this problem with their daughters? Why am I the only one with this problem? Because I try to talk to them and they are like, I don't know, man, mine play with Barbies. Well, I don't know, mine's asking about advanced physics. Like, what do I do? And like,
It's not the norm. She's
No,
definitely not the norm.
I don't have a roadmap here.
And you know, we started this podcast with how to communicate with your children, and the struggles and stuff we've gone through in life, and how we've gotten to this point. But we never thought about how to deal with a child that is so highly intelligent that even when she goes to a library to pick a book, she's picking an enlightened book that basically said, the book is We Are All So Good at Smiling
Yeah.
by Amber McBride. And who, as an 8-year-old, would pick that book but then also immerse herself in the book and read it
And she
to the
loves
point
it.
where she's halfway through already, and she just got it.
And
So
she loves it.
the other thing that I think, after, you know, we had talked last night and you'd gone up, and the whole part of she saw you doing meditation, and she asked a couple questions, but then
Two. Two.
yeah, a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And then she literally found a meditation sound and went in her room and started to meditate at 8 years old.
Yep. Like, I don't know what to do. Maybe people can help me out here and tell me if they have a super intelligent child, but it's very challenging, especially when she's passing me up very quickly, and I'm like fumbling trying to catch up here now. It's like just in the blink of an eye, it turned very quickly over the last few weeks, where I could manage her intelligence to the point where I could sufficiently answer the things she was asking, to the point now where I have to do extensive research to answer these questions.
Does she accept the fact that if you had told her, let me think on that or let me go research it, will she accept that answer? Or does
Absolutely,
she just...
but then she's going to pester you if you wait too long.
Oh.
So if you tell her that, you have approximately 24 hours to get that answer before she brings it up again. Because then she'll say, did you have a chance to research it? Did you find the answer? Do you want me to look too? Or do you need help, Dad? Like, it's very challenging. It's kind of condescending sometimes. Does
she intimidate you?
A little bit, yeah. She's very smart. She's the first female to ever intimidate me, and she's 8 years old, and my offspring. Which makes sense, but it's a challenge.
Because how do you keep inspiring her mind now? Because she's...
I think it's divine purpose, because we started this podcast to have open communication with your children, and then the universe just, bam, there's your daughter that you can't communicate with.
So now you're going to have to truly learn.
I have to figure it out, or I have to be a hypocrite, and I'm not a hypocrite, so I just got to figure it out, and you guys are going to be along for my journey on this one, because it's going to be a long one.
Yeah, because she is smart. She the biggest thing we're trying not to stay from dating, but it is a mindset. When she asked you, why are you dating and why is grandma not?
Yes.
And it's questions like that an 8-year-old usually wouldn't ask.
Mm-hmm. And she specifically said, why does grandma not date? She's not ugly.
Yeah.
So it's very confusing why she knows these things. And even when I sat and studied her yesterday for over an hour watching what she's watching, none of it was bad. None of it was the typical old lady playing with toys, or like my niece watches the lady play with Paw Patrol toys.
Correct.
Like my daughter's watching proof of Annabelle's existence. She's watching physics. She'll watch some of the nonsense of people reviewing videos, but that's stuff like what we watch on TikTok. Like she's going into YouTube Shorts, and her YouTube Shorts are all stuff that I wouldn't even think to look at. And now I'm playing catch up, and I need her playbook because it's intense. It's very hard to give her answers that she's accepting of.
But then you in the same sense, or in the next breath, I should say, she's down here playing with her brother and acting like a typical 8-year-old little girl.
That's what I mean. It's
and
like a switch.
Antagonizing her brother and teasing him, and it's like she knows who and when to ask the questions to,
Mm-hmm.
but then she also knows to be incredibly appropriate when she's around other children, which is such.
Yeah, and she has a whole nother personality too, and she's around nothing but adults. Because then when she's around adults, somehow she fits into the conversation. I don't get it.
And she sits and studies the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And she studies what you're talking about, and she listens.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that right there is the part. She's purely listening.
Well, look at the other day. I mean, I will admit I've had a couple women come over and hoping for prospects for a future relationship. And it's only been 3, and on the 3rd one, she asked, why is there so many women coming to our house? And at the time, there was a woman there, and I told her she had to wait, and the next day, I had to explain to her it's in prospects of hoping for a relationship, and I have to try. And she accepted that, but how is she noticing these patterns enough to comprehend that she needs to ask the question?
Well,
at 8 years old.
She's pattern recognition.
My son is just thrilled that he's got a female in the house that doesn't pick on him. So, I mean, he doesn't care, but my daughter is very concerned.
Well, he would rather just spider monkey up a few walls, or have grandma encourage him to climb a pillar outside on the porch, or he can run super fast in the new shoes he got. So you literally are on 2 very vastly different spectrums with them, and I've never experienced it because I feel that you and your brother were pretty similar.
We were,
growing up. You guys hated school, but in all honesty, I really truly, looking back, I think it was a matter of you guys were too smart for school, and it was kind of boring.
Now, was there a difference between me and my brother and my sister? Was she more of an intuitive type as a child, like Natalie is?
I don't think so, because I feel like because there was such an age difference, whereas you don't have that with my grandkids.
Yeah.
I feel like there was such an age difference. I feel like everybody coddled to her.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't have to think for herself. She didn't have
That's
to do
true.
for herself. If she made one squawk, you were right there. What do you need? If she made another squawk,
but that doesn't make sense, because, well, it does make sense. I'm not saying that that's not a true statement, but I treat Natalie the same way I did my sister. Like, I snap to it. What do you need? What do you want? I got it. I'm here. I did the same thing with Natalie, and Natalie's vastly different.
Yeah, Natalie is so much more different than...
She's just born intellect.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't have to learn anything. She was just born with it somehow, and
it's like her logic and reason are so in tune that she could probably rival a whole lot of college students.
Mm-hmm. She really could. Like, her math application skills are insane at 8 years old. Like,
but yet Jax has no interest.
No, he struggled with 22 plus 33. He couldn't figure it out because it wasn't a 20 and a 30. And because I added a 3 and a 2 on the end of each one, he could not figure out the answer. So, but Natalie figured out an 18 different number equation, and she had it done in about 5 minutes.
Which is phenomenal.
I mean, she did get the wrong answer the first time, and I told her incorrect, and she got mad and came back, and she's like, this is the right answer, and threw it at me, and it was the right answer. So I mean, it's so challenging to raise these children together when they're so vastly different.
Do you think it's because, like, how you and I, we listen to empowering podcasts, we have empowerment books all around? Do you think maybe that has a part to do with it? Like, she's
It could be. I mean,
trying to get so that she has a commonality with us?
well, her biggest trauma is fear of not seeing me again because she's been taken away from me a few times. And I think that, I mean, I guess I just thought of this just now, but in her mind, she's trying to relate with me, and she's a daddy's girl, like through and
Right.
through. Like, she is obsessed with me. And I think that might be right. She might be noticing what I'm watching. Like, I listen to a lot of David Goggins, a lot of Jordan Peterson, and they're very intelligent people, especially Peterson. And maybe she felt the need to get to my level so she could bond with me more than she already does, because we bond just fine apart from intellect. I think maybe that's what's going on.
Because then she comes down and she sees what I'm reading
Mm-hmm.
and looking at and doing other than constantly working.
Mm-hmm.
But she sees it as well as, okay, well, my grandma is a girl and she's reading it and she's looking at it, and I'm a girl and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've taken that stigma away where she has to just sit there and be pretty and play with Barbies, and she's actually being allowed to use her mind to further develop herself.
Well, then I think some of this is my fault too, because I've been pushing to make her undateable as an adult. So, and now I pity anyone who tries to measure up, because I think I'm the reason for this intellect, partially. I mean, she's obviously, the credit goes to her, but I've been pushing to not have a Barbie daughter. I've been pushing to have a smart daughter and a smart son. It's just I haven't succeeded yet there.
But I think he's smart on a different level. I think
he's
smart
just
on
late
the
to the party.
athletic,
Yeah.
the athletic part.
Mm-hmm.
If you gave him if you gave him any sport to focus on,
Mm-hmm.
he would just thrive in that.
Oh yeah, we were outside playing catch one day, and the first 20 minutes he couldn't catch the ball. I started telling him and getting frustrated with him. I said, "You need to pay attention. You need to catch this ball," and he caught 13 in a row immediately following that comment. So he's very smart in processing that stuff. But when
He's
it's
more of like a hands-on, like visual
I think it's
learner.
a stimulated learner. If he's interested in the subject, he will thrive in it. If he's not interested in the subject, he will not retain a single thing from it. And that was how I was through school. So I think he's very stimulant-based learner. As far as my daughter is, just I will learn everything that comes my way, and she retains it.
Yeah,
So
she's
it's vastly different, and this is where my communication is struggling with my daughter, because she comes at me with such complex questions so quickly that I actually have to pause, tell her, hold on, and I need to think about what you just said before I can answer you, because it's a lot. Like, it's not like, Dad, why is this Matchbox car like this, or why is my Matchbox track not working, or where's the hockey sticks?
Mm-hmm.
With her, it's like, the one day that still baffles me is most children ask how our baby's made. She came up to me and asked me why babies are made. She goes, I know how they're made, but why are they made? And it took me a minute to give her an answer, and she still has not accepted anything I've told her. And she's still curious to that question, because no one's given her a sufficient answer. So
she literally wants to know the nitty-gritty. Why do parents choose to have children, is what she's saying.
yes.
And that, you can't answer that question.
No, because everybody's different.
is so vastly different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had children out of, well, having you.
I was a whoops.
Well, I don't think you were a whoops.
I was definitely a whoops. It was a one-night stand.
Well, it wasn't technically a one-night stand, but it was, just a Halloween party that went
Well,
wrong.
we'll save that one for another day.
Yeah. But I think, I, in all honesty, had the choice whether or not to continue it and to continue the pregnancy. And I remember having the conversation with my mom, and she said, we'll help you and we'll get through it. And at that moment, I thought, okay, I have become a mom. I did the thing. This is meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't have the enlightenment and the spiritual opening as I do now.
I think that was partially the time in life
Correct.
too, because at that time women were meant to be suppressed. Like that
Correct.
was very, very common in the
Correct.
70s and 80s, was a smart woman was like a voodoo doll, like you don't touch it, like get away. So women were just out of survival instinct to find a significant other. They were dumb, acting.
Correct.
So
I
I think
100% believe that.
so. I think that was a defense for you, not necessarily that you weren't enlightened, just more or less that to find a agreeable mate, you had to become the dumber version of yourself to attract an agreeable mate.
And then that's what I did, continued on.
And because of that happening to you and who you ended up with more than once, like my father and my stepfather, that's what inspired me to make my daughter extremely intelligent and teach her that it doesn't matter what any man thinks, you just dominate the field no matter what. You
Correct.
dominate your age group, you dominate your gender, you dominate the other gender. You come out on top. And I think because of that, and raising her with no chains at all, that she has become this intellect being that is very smart and she's passing up everybody. And it's very intimidating.
And it would be interesting to see, and I probably already know the answer to this question, if she acts the same way or has the same drive when she's at her mom's house. Which I'm assuming no, because I feel they're maybe a little bit more suppressed in like what female male roles are.
Yeah.
But we don't know that.
Yeah.
And I feel like
her mom doesn't chain her as much as I think she does, but her mom also doesn't want to have her daughter like that. She wants to have the pretty, fun, just lovable daughter. But she
is all of that.
Yeah, she's very good at becoming what people need her to be in the moment. But if she starts wavering from what she likes, like her smarts, she will get irritated and walk away.
Correct.
If someone tries to put her down, and that's part of her mom too. Her mom did a great job there. That if someone insults her, she's like, it's like okay, and just walks away. Whereas I tried teaching her to throat punch them. So I'm glad that her mom was there to balance that for me and teach her to just walk away.
I don't think the answer is always the throat punch.
Well, that's my response to most people. That just won't leave me alone. It's
think
the easiest way to get people to walk away from
True,
you.
or just hit them with some knowledge that they just get stumped and you can just walk away at that point.
Yeah, but the
too.
problem is most people don't retain that knowledge, so I'm wasting my energy. It's a lot easier just to drop them and then let them think about what they've done, and then they don't come back to me. So, in my opinion, it's a lot easier to just drop somebody where they're standing and just let it be.
And in her reality is she'll hit them with knowledge and just walk away.
Yeah.
And that's what she does.
Well, she'll just be like, well, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Like, that's her cut you down deep. Like, you know damn well she knows the answer, but she's just not going to say it to you because you irritated her.
And I think a lot of times, too, if you're not giving her what she wants, stimulating her brain, she's going to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go do my own thing. I'm going to go finish reading my book, or I'm going to pick up a different book that's in this house. And I mean, if I do see her with the 48 Laws of Power book, I'm going to worry.
Well, she has been down here looking for more books. I mean, because she doesn't like her kids' books anymore.
Oh, well, the 48 Laws of Power are in the barista room sitting on that.
Well, the other day...
I might encourage her to read it.
I disciplined her the other day and took away her laptop and TV, and she said, okay, and she just went to reading her book. I'm like, what the hell? Like, how am I going to discipline this kid? I can't yell at her for reading.
No, that
like,
you can never do, and
so
you can't
it's
squash
like,
that.
I actually did have to yell at her I told her yesterday because she straight up manipulated her brother into getting in trouble. And I said, all right, that's it. You're going to go sit on your bed, no reading, no coloring, no TV, no laptop. And she got really upset with me, and I'm like, well, how else am I going to discipline you, Natalie? She goes, okay, I understand. And she went and sat on her bed for an hour, and she came back and apologized and said she will not do it again. And she promised that she will not do it again. I said, all right, fine, you can have one thing back. And she picked reading. She didn't pick the laptop, she didn't pick the TV, she picked reading.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, so she is just, the only way to cripple my child is to take away her books.
And you don't want to do that.
No, and when I met...
That is like literally using the ultimate manipulation on you.
Yeah.
Because she knows that her go-to is a book.
And she knows I
and
won't
research,
suppress
and you
learning.
won't suppress that, so...
Yeah. And I messaged my buddies and I asked them who have daughters around this age, and they have no idea what I'm talking about because they're not dealing with this stuff. So I don't know if anybody else is out there is dealing with this, but I'd really love if you'd reach out and talk to me because I need some help here. So
yeah, she's a very, very smart little cookie.
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of research trying to study this and figure out what to do. But my main struggles right now are how do I discipline this child when she needs to be disciplined, because children do need to be disciplined to be taught right from wrong. And the other thing I'm struggling with is how do I keep up with her growing brain? I can't learn as quickly as she does, so I need to figure out.
Well, she has aged on
Yeah.
her side.
I
So
know.
when they're younger, their brains are such sponge-like that as we age, obviously we have to let other things go out of our mind in order to retain more. Do I
Yeah.
necessarily believe that portion of it? Not really, because I feel I can learn new stuff every single day and retain everything.
I do too. I just think it's a lot slower to process.
Correct.
Than what
Like
hers
their
is.
processor is like top-notch computer
Yeah.
that processes at like probably I don't know how fast
Yeah,
it
she's
ran.
running on Windows 11. I'm running on Windows 95.
Correct.
So it's
And it takes us a little bit longer, but I feel she's helping you because
well, she is.
obviously for your past and the drugs that you did,
Mm-hmm.
it has damaged your brain some.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
we see that every single day, like when you and I are talking and you have to pause to get the right thought.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she's more or less helping you
I think so
because
too.
she's helping to rejuvenate those connections.
Well, she's creating connections that weren't there before in my mind.
Correct, and I think they might have been there, and they were there.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of you don't know, like you didn't know how to access them,
Yeah.
and in a way, she's accessing them and making you access them.
Yeah. I believe everybody can access the same information and process the exact same way. It's just a matter of unlocking it. And I think you're absolutely right. I think she's forcing it onto me. And it's probably me asking for that in the universe because I did ask for my brain to be healed from the drugs I did. I asked to have my memory repaired, and she was the answer. She may not have been the answer I wanted, or the way I thought that it was going to be repaired, but she definitely is. And I think you're absolutely right. And I didn't look at it like that before.
I mean, I think the challenges she's giving you, and maybe she can see it in you too, is like, well, I'm helping my dad. I'm helping my dad learn the same stuff I'm learning. She might not know it to the extent like we know what she, until she finds this our podcast on YouTube and she starts listening to it.
Yeah. That'll be a day.
Yeah, I think we're too boring for her.
We are.
Yeah, she needs next level spiritual advisors.
Yeah, none of our
and-
topics that we've hit are going to be intriguing enough to
Yeah,
her.
no, I think we have to start it going into astrophysics or some other weird realm of something.
Well, we'll
But-
see where she runs with meditation. Maybe I can help her out there because I'm pretty versed in that topic. But
Yeah, meditation, I feel that part still fascinates me. But I think it's a matter of she subconsciously is helping you become a better you
mm-hmm.
and repairing what you went through.
Yeah,
And the universe said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. What better person to give than his own daughter?
yeah. And she's always been really smart. And I've always noticed her intelligence because even since kindergarten they've been talking about a grade skip. So I've known that I've had a smart daughter. It's just this year specifically, she has, I can't even say quadruple. It's got to be more than that. Quintupled her intellect from last year. Her ability to raise her intelligence is just mind-baffling. How quickly she can do it. So I'm firm. She reinforces my theory I've always had that women are smarter than boys and they're better than men when it comes to brains. And she's my proof of it because she is way smarter than most adult males. So that's
And
kind
they're
of
not
cool
that
too.
they're not that far in age difference either. So
No.
you literally have the perfect study here
Mhm.
because excuse me, you have a son who is athletically superior because she's not athletic at all.
No.
She literally can trip in flip-flops like her grandmother down steps.
Well, she can do it on flat ground too.
Yeah, she can. She's did one up me on that too.
Mm.
But you have a son who literally climbs the walls, and he does it for fun, and he does it in reverse. He does it upside down. He does it
Well, the other day
standing
he
on
did,
his head. I mean,
the other day he did 70 pull-ups. What adult can do 70 pull-ups?
I don't know.
I mean, they weren't all at once; they were in increments. But still, I don't know many adults. I can't do 70 pull-ups in a day. Like I right now, well, my accident is part of the reason. But like yesterday, I did 40. He did 85. I mean, granted, I did do 400 reps of other things, but still, pull-ups are one of the hardest things to do, especially for an adult. And he
because
is
you're
just
pulling all your weight up.
absolutely, and his back muscle is. I'm kind of jealous of it. He's a muscular little boy.
for 6 years old.
Yeah, I'm killing myself trying to pack on muscle here, and he's just effortlessly doing it, just watching me.
Well, I guess maybe you're supposed to climb the walls upside down and
No,
right
I
side
can't.
up and
There's
all
no
that
way
in
I'm
between.
doing that. He wanted me to try it, but my wrist and my ankle are still pretty jacked up from the accident, so I don't think I'd survive the climbing, but
But yeah, they are literally your perfect case study.
yeah, it's...
You ain't gonna get any better case study than those two.
No. So I do invite anyone to either comment on the video or reach out and let me know if they're struggling with the same type of daughter, and maybe we can brainstorm this together and figure it out.